Hello. This is the second part of I-485 DIY videos. In this video, I will go through the December 13th 17 version of I-485 form with you. This is an exemplification of self-petition, such as EB1A or NIW. For other categories and subcategories, you would want to consult a lawyer hired by your employer. You should leave the first half page blank, because that's for the USCIS officer. The USCIS forms are fillable electronically. However, if you have trouble filling it out electronically, just print out a blank form and fill out with a pen. Black ink. The USCIS is not picky on how you filled out as long as it is properly filled out. The forms work the best with the PC, but I am demonstrating on a Mac, so Mac users will see the typical issues and know how to deal with it. So A number. If you have filed I-140 and received the receipt, the A number is on your I-140 receipt. If you file the I-485 together with I-140, you won't have an A number. Leave it blank. It is fine. This item is on every page. PC user, you only fill it out once. Mac users, write that down on every page manually. You see, there is a little square for each number. PC will fill each number into the little squares, but Mac won't. See what's happened on my screen? But that's okay. The USCIS will not reject your application for the weirdness of your computer formatting. Next, your last name and first name. If you have a middle name, fill it out. If not, leave blank. That's an easy one. Then, other names. These names refers to anything other than the names in item 1A, 1B and 1C and appeared on your governmental ID or official records. If your name is too long and your classmates call you by a nickname, the nickname does not need to be written down here. Fill out item 5 through 9, which are easy. Item 10, we just talked about it. Leave item 11 blank. Fill out item 12, if you have a SSN. Then, U.S. mailing address. This is where any communication from the USCIS will be sent to by mail. So it needs to be accurate. Safe mailing should be left blank. This does not apply to you who get I-140 approval through EB1A or NIW. Item 15, your passport number. If you have more than one passport, fill in the newest one. Item 16, if you use other documents such as a parole. Otherwise, it is fine to leave blank. Items 17 and 18 can be found on your passport. Item 20 to 21 can be found on your most recent I-94 record. If you don't know how to retrieve I-94 record, check out part 3 of my I-485 video serials. For most PhDs and postdocs following normal routine into the US, you should check item 22A and fill out here according to your visa status. F1, student, J1, exchange visitor, H1 temporary worker and so on. Items 23 are also on your I-94. If your current status is the same as on I-94, leave item 24 blank. Otherwise, fill in the new visa status. Items 25 are also on your I-94. Now, part 2. For those filling I-485 based on EB1A or NIW, check I-140 in item 1B, and then scroll down to item 2, select No. Items 3 and 4 are on your I-140 receipt. If you file I-485 together with I-140, leave them blank. If you are the same applicant as in the I-140 case filled in item 3 above, you should leave blank items 5 to 9. Otherwise, fill in the information of the person who is the applicant of the I-140 case filled in item 3 above. If you have applied for an immigration visa, fill out items 1 to 4 in part 3. But for most people, leave them blank. Items 5 to 6 are about your current address. If you don't remember the exact date when you start to live in this address, that's fine to be approximate. But at least get the month right. Items 7 and 8 are your previous address. If you live in the address in items 5 to 8 less than 5 years altogether, Go to the end of this form. Scroll, scroll and scroll down. Here, write down page 4, part 3, no item number. List other addresses you lived in the past 5 years and the period when you lived there. Items 9 and 10 are your most recent address outside the U.S., where you lived at least 1 year. Employment history also asks for information about your employers in the past 5 years. If you have more than 2 employers in the past 5 years, go to the last page of this form again. Write page 5, part 3, no item number, list other employers here. Part 4 is information about your parents. You should be able to figure this out by yourself. Part 5 is about your marriage. If any items do not apply to you, just leave them blank. I hope none of you have divorced ever. Part 6 is about your child. I only want to mention one thing. If you are submitting an I-485 for your child, check yes for this question. If your child is born in the U.S., your child is a U.S. citizen already, you should check no for this question. Part 7 is about you. Figure it out by yourself. The first item of Part 8 may be confusing. This refers to any military service or mostly political organizations. Sam's Club is a club. But that does not count. If you have to check yes, you may still get your green card fine, but need to provide a statement of explanation. I will discuss this in another video. The criteria are a little complex. Items 14 to 24 are questions about whether you have any issue with your immigration status. If you stay in the U.S. with valid visa all the time and have never been denied a visa, check no for all these. If you need to check yes for any question here, I would suggest you go to a lawyer. Items 25 to 60 are about whether you were involved in any criminal behavior. Check no if you have always been a good person with no policy officer taking you away from your home. Otherwise, this video cannot help you. Traffic tickets of a few hundreds do not count. Items 61 and 62 are asking you whether you can afford your own living, have you or will you need help such as food stamps. Items 63 to 80 are about violation of immigration law and other regulations. If you cannot check no, this video cannot help you. Part 9 describes any disabilities. But I think most of you should leave them blank, because you should be perfectly healthy if you can do an excellent job to get EB-1A or NIW approval. In Part 10, check Item 1A, otherwise how can you work in the U.S.? Your phone number in Item 3 and signature in Item 6. Next item, see the red subscribe button under this video. Click that. Now, you are all set.